When we got down here, my biggest thing is getting the books and reading. Thanks for y'all's help.
Overview of the house, and then we'll look at the individual rooms as best we can. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you make them. First of all, the house was built in 1897, so it makes 190 years old. It was built by William E. Tate, who was a local hardware merchant, and his hardware store is a professional building downtown today, so his legacy's been these two buildings, still operational 100 years later. It's not the same Tate that's up there in Grapevine.
It's William B. Tate.
B. Tate, yeah, and in Fort Worth, there's a William something or other, E. Tate or something, you know. Well, we're William E., so it's something else. William A., I think it is. We sit up in this nice 5-acre hilltop, so very private and quiet. We have over 5,500 square feet in the house itself, 15 rooms. We turned 5 of those into bed and breakfast rooms almost 13 and a half years ago, and we've had over 11,000 house guests in that period of time.
Wow.
I consider it's primarily a weekend business, that's not too bad, but we live here, so we're always open. Now this whole tree here, on the left and right, are a couple pictures taken of the house at the turn of the last century, about 1900. The distance view on the left shows that we're out here all by ourselves, even though we're approximately 8 blocks from the downtown historic courthouse square. And the closer view on the right shows that the house itself hasn't really changed much, other than we've repainted it, what's called a Victorian painted lady, with 11 historic colors on it. Okay, well, let's take a look at the rooms now. Come on in. You know what that's made out of? Rabbit. That's a rabbit skin. Now this room is where the grand staircase was located that went upstairs to the ballroom. According to a lady who played here back in the 1920s, she died last year at 99 years old. Your guests would always park down front in that Crescent Drive, climb the mountain, or come up the hill, come in the front door. Because only the family and the servants use the back door, which of course we all do today. So as a guest, you would come in the front door. If you're going up to the ballroom, you would come into this room. This room is called an anteroom. And the grand staircase started here and went up and up and up and ended up and was like a mezzanine or a partial floor. Because of course it was open, the staircase was open to the second floor, as was all this tower area. So this is the base of the tower here. These are all 12-foot ceilings, 8-foot windows, all the original woodwork. Notice the curved wood above and below the windows there in the tower. This magnificent craftsmanship, of course. They removed the grand staircase sometime in the 1930s, and when they did, they put a ceiling here, a floor up above, and created 2 bedrooms out of it. We don't know why they removed it or where it went to. All we know is
It wasn't here.
it's gone. We use this as our parlor today, and feel free to use it as such. The original parlor is across the hall, but that's our office, so we don't go in there. I don't go in there if I don't have to. It's a terrible place to go. You definitely have to work, and that's our trouble. We don't do enough of it. Now, you all had your tea time here, or those that were in here, in the drawing room. We know, of course, today as a living room, but it's called the drawing room, actually the withdrawing room. I don't know if you noticed this beautiful fretwork piece across the top here, behind you there. Still behind you. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. A lot of people stand under and you can't see it. Probably more meaningful if you realize that they built the house before electricity, so that's basically done by hand. So it took a guy a couple hours to put that together.
Yeah.
These are the massive 10-foot pocket doors. And they work, and we use them sometimes in the wintertime when we have the wood-burning fire going. Now, this is one of 6 fireplaces in the house. It's the only wood-burning fireplace. The other 5 are coal burners. The mantels are all original, all hand-carved oak, all different, very exquisite mantels. They used to order those mantels out of a catalog from back east, and they used to ship them out kind of like as a kit or in pieces. And you'd hire a local craftsman to put them together for you. And in the wintertime, we have a wood-burning fire going for our tea time. Well, let's go over here. This is the master bedroom here. This is Shay's in my bedroom.
Oh, you even showed it. Wow.
Well, after 35 years in the Army, keeping your room
Yeah, that
clean
was no big deal for you.
that's just
huh?
part of it, yeah. Now notice the transoms over the doors there for the bathroom and closet. What that indicates is those rooms really weren't there. First of all, when they built the houses before indoor plumbing, the plumbing was outdoors. So of course the bathroom wasn't there. They didn't have closets back in those days for a couple reasons. Basically they folded all their clothes. The few hang-up clothes they did have, they'd hang up in the armoire, shift robe, wardrobe, whatever you want to call it. And secondly, your property tax was based on the number of rooms in your house, and the closet was considered a room. Well, certainly you didn't want to pay tax on a closet. Like that in Europe today. In Europe they don't have closets because they have to pay tax on it. What that was a hallway that led outside to what was ever outside back in those days. This is a 4-piece bedroom suite from a New Orleans estate. It's walnut. You have your washstand, your half teaster bed, your dresser, and then the armoire there. And these matching face pieces on it, which makes it so exquisite. Where the opening is up there, it's supposed to have a cloth cover, and that acts as a safety net, because back in those days, creepy crawlies would run across the ceiling at night, sometimes lose their footing and fall. And here we're talking about tarantulas, scorpions, centipedes, even mice around the crown molding. If you had a mouse come tumbling down from 12 feet up, it'd be a bit disconcerting.
Yeah.
So that literally would protect the sleeper from being bombarded at night. Of course, we pay big bucks to the Orkin man to keep those guys out.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on down the hall here, and we can go look at the rooms. Now this is our downstairs bed and breakfast room, courtesy of the Parkers here. This would have been probably like the grandmother's room or the aunt's room. Very old, if not original wallpaper. Certainly very Victorian in nature.
There's cool beds too.
If you notice, there's a porch out there that runs the whole length of this room. But they don't have access to that porch from inside the house here. If they want to use it, they've got to go out and come up on it. And again, the reason is that where their bathroom's located, that used to be a hallway that led out to the porch. They closed that off in the 1940s, and when they did, they put the bathroom in. In fact, it's the tile in there is still the original tile, and of course we've updated the tub to a Whirlpool tub. Now this half teaster does have a bug catcher on it, so you all can sleep easily.
I hope that doesn't mean that there's reputation of things falling from the ceiling in here.
They'll never know.
We're not worried about
Thanks
it.
for pointing out that thought in my head.
It was his fault. Oh no.
Now this was in Shay's family, and we didn't know it. Shay's great aunt came up from Houston, saw that half teaster in our bedroom, and said, "Oh, hey, Aunt Mimi has one of those." I think it's up in her attic. Well, Aunt Mimi had died about 10 years earlier, so we called a young man, he's the grandnephew, managing her estate. He said, "Oh yeah, there's some old junk up there. If you want it, come get it."
Oh,
So the next day, we made a one-day round trip to Houston and back got this old piece of walnut junk out of it.
wow.
Help them out, huh?
No, it did. It's on loan from the family, but until they get giggling and laughing. Now, of course, this is the formal dining room here. I don't know if you're watching fireplace mantels, but like I said, they're all different, all hand-carved, very exquisite. Now, that's a coal-burning fire. That's why it's so shallow. Coal smolders. It doesn't take a lot of draw or draft like a wood-burning fire. Therefore, you don't have to have the depth or the width of a wood-burning fire. They used to mine that coal in an old town called Thurber. It's 40 miles due west of here on Interstate 20 going towards Abilene. They used to mule train the coal up and drop a load in everybody's yard. And that was the primary means for heating these old Victorian homes in those days. The oil lamp here now is original to the period. We don't know if it's original to the house or not. But it used to be on a pulley mechanism. You could pull it down and light the 4 wicks and push it back up. The mechanism's gone, but we still have the beautiful old lamp. This is our centerpiece of furniture. This is called an English court cupboard. It's red English oak. We bought it when we lived in England, but it's crafted in 1668. So that makes it 338 years old. So he's an old granddaddy. He weighs about 400 pounds and moved with us 10 times. Kind of like the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps going and going. Let's go on upstairs to the ballroom. All right. Okay, so you notice how narrow these stairs are. That's because these are the servant stairs. They're one servant wide. You cannot pass on this staircase. And because of that, this little platform here is called a step-aside. Because if a servant was coming up with food and drink up to the ballroom, and one was coming down, one coming down would step aside and allow the other one to come up. Remember, the grand staircase was down there in that first room we looked at, and disappeared in the 30s. So that only left the servant stairs. Watch your head here on the gable. It had a ballroom. One house is closed down to make harbors for a Kroger food store. The other house is about 6 blocks down the Mars Street here. Kind of a miniature of our Penny Lane where the turret is located, or where the tower is located. There's a room in behind it that's considered a ballroom. This has 2 stages, the larger musician stage over there, smaller chaperone stage here. Of course, back in those days, any young unmarried couple attending a function here would be properly chaperoned. And the chaperone would be positioned up here, keep an eye on the couple throughout the evening's activities. The Knotty Pine was put up in the late 1940s after the war, the wainscoting they call it. And these rooms were all primarily the family bedrooms or the children's rooms as such. This room, however, was the maid's room. Head of the stairs gave her easy access up and down. They had probably had one live-in maid. It was like the nanny, and then they would have day servants that would come in from Weatherford, take care of the washing, and ironing, and cleaning, and cooking, and that sort of thing. Now, from the chaperone stage, if you look out the right-hand window and off to the right, you get a real good view of our courthouse. Of course, we have a beautiful courthouse. It's 120 years old. But right-hand window. But standing there looking at it, you're actually looking down on it because you're 22 feet higher than the top of the roof. Weatherford this year is celebrating its sesquicentennial. It's 150 years old. Now these 2 rooms were the children's rooms. Go in and I'll talk to you about them. Yeah, well, you can come and look at it.
It looks like it's room.
Now this would have been one of the children's rooms. You got to visualize it without the bathrooms because they didn't have indoor bathrooms. We put all the bathrooms in. So there's been a nice sized room for a child. Again, the Knotty Pine was put up in the late 40s, but underneath it's the original wallpaper. Back in those days, they used to wallpaper not only the walls but also the ceilings. They didn't paint the inside of the house; only painted the outside. The bed here is a Sears and Roebuck turn-of-the-century bed. If you ever look at one of their catalogs from that time period, and we happen to have a Sears catalog from 1897 when the house was built, you'll find it in there for about $3.25.
Go.
We bought it 30 years ago and paid a lot more than that for it. If we'd only have known, I think Shay would have bargained a little bit harder. Can we look at your room? Sure. Yeah, I don't mean to press you on it.
Absolutely.
Now this room wasn't a bedroom. This room is that mezzanine I spoke to you about. This is where the grand staircase entered. And entered right there where that marble washstand is located. This wall wasn't, that wall wasn't there. That actually was a railing, and everything on that side was open to that first room we looked at below. So they used to come up here, and from here they'd enter the ballroom, or the men would go out and smoke their cigars on the porch. Now the porch looks due east.
Rain.
Yeah, very good. Hey, I thought I heard
I
thunder.
know, I heard that.
And way out there at the horizon, 28 miles is downtown Fort Worth. And on a real dark, clear night, you can actually see the tops of the skyscrapers down there.
In Fort Worth?
Straight ahead of you? or-
Straight ahead,
Wow.
exactly, straight ahead.
Shut the windows.
That is great.
Take a look at the turn of the tower, and the little sitting area, and the bathroom. You got to poke your head all the way in the bathroom to appreciate it. Love to hear that rain.
Is it Mansfield? Go to Mansfield.
Yeah.
So the,
No, Miss Bathroom.
That was just a tower. It was an open tower. The staircase was a square staircase that came up right there.
Don, did the tower used to go all the way straight down here like
Yep.
this?
There wasn't any, this was all open.
So they
This
did a
was
lot of
all,
craft in the building.
all open.
Pretty tricky.
You can just sit there on the toilet and be entertained.
Yeah, they make everything,
Be entertained
fit.
how?
Huh? Do what?
Sit there on the toilet and be entertained how?
Oh, yeah. No. No. No, I said it's.
That is a Korean rice chips. The lock has been broken. One of our guests, I guess, jammed it or something. I can't get it open anymore. But anyway, they keep their rice, and of course they eat a lot of rice. I mean, they eat a big amount of rice. And so that probably holds for a family about less than a week's worth of rice in there. But that's how they would store it in their house. Yeah. Now your bed and dresser in here are a matching burl walnut suit. One's been lightened or darkened from the other, I don't know. But it's over 150 years old. It comes from a small hotel in Uray, Colorado, which back in those days was a small silver mining boom town, and today it's a small tourist boom town.
how do you spell that?
Well, we put them in, where we could. We didn't manufacture them. Now this room wasn't a bedroom. This room was a sewing room. Back in those days, they sewed everything. Anything that had to be sewed, they basically had to do it themselves. If you're claustrophobic, it's a difficult room to come into, and I've had a couple of ladies refuse to come in because of that. Now, where that bathroom is located, that actually is a very important room for us. When we first moved in, that was enclosed, and when I was up in the attic, I realized that the double chimney came up through that cavity from the master bedroom and office downstairs. So, oh, that sounds good. So we opened up the wall and Shay dismantled the chimney brick by brick by brick. That not only gave us the space for the bathroom, but more importantly, it gave us the shaft or the hole. Plumbers chaser called to bring plumbing up. We had no way to get plumbing up on this side of the house. And once we did, then we could distribute it and put the bathrooms in. Well, what that little door is there, all the rafters from this gable and the one next door all come down and anchor in the floor here. It's like a spaghetti maze of anchored rafters. But outside, in between the two gables, there's a...
The crazy lady that we met at bed and breakfast.
Now this room was our last bed and breakfast room up here. I call this our girly room because it's sweet and soft.
Sorry, honey.
No, he has nothing to do with it. She's the one, I know she's the one that selected this room.
No, he came because of the girly, okay?
Well, I say this is where the women always take this room. Because this room, the first one we looked at, the same price. And if the guy will look at it on the internet and make the booking, he'll always book that room.
Yep.
But as soon as she'll look at what he just booked, she'll say, oh no. And he'll call back and change it to here. And it's happened more than once, so I know that's true. But it has the little 4-foot tub, and of course it has the European-style water closet in there with the toilet and shower. Now this bed is a black walnut bed from the Black Forest of Germany.
Wow.
Very characteristic of their craftsmanship back in those days.
I have never seen a bed.
I know.
Well, that's the smallest bathtub they made back in those days, 4 feet. But you got to remember, back in the late Victorian period, it was a bathroom. It had the bathtub and a sink in it. The toilet was outside in the outhouse. So the bathtub had to be in the vicinity of the kitchen stove. because they'd have to heat the water on the kitchen stove, carry it over, dump it into the cast iron bathtub. Now that retains the heat. Long, 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 unlike our acrylic tubs today, which you know, the heat's gone right
In a
away.
minute, yeah.
And that's where the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Because in those days, you'd have your Saturday night baths. Have you heard that? You know, you bathe once a week, Saturday night. And in a lot of homes, it was by priority. Normally, the men would take theirs, starting with dad, and take theirs, and then mother, all the men would work through the men, and then the women. And the baby would be last, and sometimes the water was so dirty that you could literally throw it out without realizing that the baby was
throw the baby out.
Oh.
Well, and just for your information, I had a lady, she was a younger lady, when I said that, she was young 40s or something. Born in West Texas and raised in West Texas, I've forgotten where she told me. But they had an outhouse and they had, they literally had what I just told you about. And in their family, that's exactly the way it was. Dad, brothers, all took their baths first, and then the women. And she was the youngest, and she said sometimes she got out of it dirtier than when she went into it. And of course, she refuses to take a bath today.
Oh, good.
Refuse to ever take a bath or after?
Well,
In the bathtub.
I'm sorry, to use a bathtub, she takes a shower. So, good point. I'll have to work on this side of the house, but this bathroom here. This bathroom is basically over the kitchen.
Are y'all going in there?
Go on in. St. John. Sorry, that's just too funny to go to a bathroom.
Now, like I said, this put up in the 1940s, and all the tile and the glass block and all very typical. All the fixtures are 1930s, 40s type fixtures. When we first opened up, this was a shared bath. We didn't have those bathrooms yet. So we had 3 of those we had as bathrooms, so they shared those. Then after a couple, 3 years, we got the plumbing out and we put the bathrooms in. And now this has become our storage room. Except when we rent the ballroom, then this is a common restroom. In fact, when we used to weddings and receptions, this is where the bride went.
I thought maybe it was for that lady. They came and wouldn't take a bath.
It's a
You were
shower
not
door.
there.
Yeah, see, she's got her shower.
Yeah.
What if they named it St. John? That's hilarious.
The ballroom like we do. We had a second staircase. We had a lot of church and church activities. We had out here last night. Family reunions, conferences, parties, dances, plays, musicals, that sort of thing. So we had to have a second staircase, and we elected to put an accent. That wall actually looked like the other wall. There were 2 windows and all. We found the door, the door is 7 years older than the house. It makes it 116 years old. Weighs about 200 pounds. A lot of fun doing that. And then that gives us access, or gives people up here access to the side area. Now, since it's raining, we won't go out to the cottage. But outside, we have the water tower. I'm sure you all saw that. The windmill up top still works. The tower is original to the house. And it has a water tank out there, and the well underneath. The well's collapsed. And they used to pump the water up, and of course, because of the elevation of the tank, they had enough pressure, they would have started at the kitchen sink. They would have had running water, which back in those days was up 10. Twice the other two.
And I got jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi, what are we doing, Kiara?
We're playing. Yeah, and splashing.
And how do you say it again? It's a what?
Jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi. And we're staying in. Why are we over here for? Why are we here for?
Because we're staying here. So I can stay and live here, and so I can stay at a house.
This is our little vacation before we go back to school. We're in Weatherford, Texas. No. Yeah, Weatherford, Texas. Weatherford, Texas.
Woohoo!
At the St. Botolph Bed and Breakfast. And we would be out in the swimming pool, but it's been raining. So the jacuzzi's working. Is everybody in the jacuzzi?
Yes.
What is this called, Jar? What is this called that we're in? Is it called a
Chubby, chubby, cheek, cheek.
No, a jacuzzi. Say, tell Daddy
A
jacuzzi. A
koozie.
koozie.
Oh, no koozie.
How old are you, Kiara? Show Daddy how old you are. How old is that?
I'm 3.
How old are you, Kenzie?
7 for school.
Do you have a little bit of a sunburn? How did you get a sunburn yesterday?
I was in the water too much and in the heat. Oh, look at my feet.
Did you get a
I
sunburn
can
being
do
in
a
the
teacher
jacuzzi?
dance. No. It's from the water park next door, Mom.
Oh.
Oh, Dara, come on. With that video, no way. I just got backstage.
Not so loud. Be nice.
I can die. I can die.
What? Don't say that.
I'm
What did she say?
I could die. D-I-E.
Why are you saying that, Kiara?
Because I'm a teacher dance because I died.
Don't say that you died. Don't say that. That's not nice.
Body, stop.
Hey, Kiara, how about,
Hey, my road's down.
Kiara, what's that song that you sing that you like?
It's the teacher dance when
No.
I die. Look,
No.
here's the water.
Don't say that. What's your other song
The
you like to
water's coming. Wiggles, Barney, and
Okay.
Utopia.
sing? Sing me one of your songs.
Okay.
Go.
Wiggle, wiggle. What about Auto CC? Auto CC. That's from Bibble.
Oh, turn that way and say it to Daddy. Who sings that? Bibble from Fairytopia?
Yes. No, it's from
What about
Mermaidia.
what about the Ariel song? What about the one that says, I wanna go?
The people are flat on the rocks. I can see, I can slide. I can see, I can hide you. Died. Oh, come on.
Okay.
Is that the best you could do? Oh, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle.
What about somewhere? Do that one too. Let me hear that one.
Let me do the two.
Wait, let her go first.
Okay. Someday my dreams come. Someday my dreams
Sing the song.
Wait.
Okay, go.
The snake. Peeked on my nose.
Oh no. Tell him the song. Where over the rainbow? Do that
And
one to
then
Daddy.
it's my
And
turn.
then your turn. Okay, go.
No way.
You go.
Barney. I'll do it then. Barney.
Sing it
I'll
now.
do it then.
Okay, Kenzie sing.
Barney.
Okay, Kenzie's turn.
Stop singing. Wiggle, wiggle. Barney. 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 Hey, no splashing me. You got my hair wet.
Go. Kenzie, go.
Oh, you're pushing her. I can die.
Don't sing that one. Sing. Sing it loud so Daddy can hear you.
I'll sing somewhere over the rainbow. I can sing that somewhere over the rainbow.
Go. Okay, go.
Over the rainbow sky. I'm getting out.
You're getting hot. Okay, well hold on. I gotta get Daddy help. Hold on.
I already did it.